guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another West Brom match preview. West Brom versus Everton tomorrow lunchtime at Goodison Park. And, you know, after our last Premier League game, losing 3-0, hopefully that game will, you know, teach us a lesson. Hopefully it'll teach us that, you know, when we go 1-2-0 down, that our heads can't drop in the Premier League because you'll just get punished. Some exciting news before we start. There's a couple of things. Number one, I've been contacted by a company who sells Football Manager. If you guys do play Football Manager on PC, then there will be a discount code available for you guys to use. So keep a lookout for that. That should be happening in the coming weeks, maybe the next month or two. But stay tuned for that. And then on top of that, in about 20 minutes time, I've actually got a Zoom call with Gareth Barry, interviewing him for BT Sport, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm delighted with that. Really good player, very good professional. On to the match preview versus Everton. Now, obviously, in their last game, they got a 1-0 win against Tottenham, which was a brilliant result for them. You know, Tottenham were really poor, but it's still a good result for Everton. In our last game, we lost 3-0 to Leicester, and I'll say the same this week as I did last week. We're in desperate need of a striker. We've just signed Conor Gallagher on a season-long loan from Chelsea. Will he be involved in the squad on Saturday? Well, tomorrow. Hopefully he is, because he is, like I say, a really, really good box-to-box midfielder. There is news as well that Bilic is really getting frustrated that we haven't signed Krovinovic yet. There is interest from Bulgana, and, you know, we've obviously Benfica getting frustrated. It could look like that Krovinovic could go that way. And I've heard that every day in training, Bilic always asks Dowling and stuff like that how close the Krovinovic deal is. But we'll have to see what develops with that one, guys. But West Brom versus Everton, tough game. They've made some fantastic signings. James Rodriguez being one of them. Former Real Madrid star, is absolutely brilliant in centre attacking midfield. Very underrated player, and he could cause us a lot of problems. Another couple of players who they've got, Richarlison, really, really good striker, knows where the back of the net is. Although in the last game he did make a bit of a mess up with that shot, what he had. He went round the keeper and he completely missed it. It was a really, really bad miss in my opinion. But, you know, he's still a very good player. And obviously they've just signed Decore from Watford, who's another fantastic signing. You know, they've got Allen in the middle, who's another brilliant signing, former Napoli player. You know, they've got a real good amount of players who can hurt us, and players who are absolutely fantastic. And, you know, it's going to be really tricky, I believe, on Saturday. I think it could be a bit more trickier than the Leicester game, purely because that Leicester had a lot of players out, and they still managed to beat us 3-0. With that being said, I'm going to be a bit more confident. Like I say, hopefully the last game has taught us a lesson. Hopefully that 3-0 battering against Leicester has taught us a lesson, because it needs to. Key players for us, Grady Diangana. You know, he was snuffed out the game a lot last game. I felt sorry for him in a way, because he didn't really, you know, it's his first game in the Premier League, and it's always going to be tricky. Another player for us, Matheus Pereira. Obviously, he can hurt a lot of teams on his day. He's a brilliant footballer. Conor Gallagher as well, like I mentioned. Hopefully, he'll be in the first team squad against Everton, and he can offer us a bit more in midfield, because I do believe that Sawyers and Livermore were very poor in that last game. In our cup game against Harrogate, I think Kyle Edwards was brilliant. He was absolutely fantastic. You know, he set up Callum Robinson's goal. He's past the player. Now, you could argue that it was Harrogate, but he still played well. I thought Raheem Harper played well as well. And you know what? Special mention to Dara O'Shea, because he hasn't even had half a season in the first team, and he already looks like he's been a senior player for years, and he can only get better. Guys, I'm going to be confident on this one. I'm not going to be negative. We need to go there and put in a good performance. Like I say, we haven't got a striker. We're still stuck with Hal Robson-Kanu, who scored a brilliant goal against Harrogate. We're still stuck with Charlie Austin, and we're still stuck with Kenneth Zohore. Now, for me, I was hoping that we would have brought Karlan Grant in by now, or even Troy Deeney on loan. I think we needed at least one striker for the game, but Doesn't look like we're going to get one. You're probably looking at the next game against Chelsea where we will even have one, and that one's going to be a tricky game as well. But I can't stress enough how hard this game's going to be. It's going to be very difficult. You know, their manager's absolutely brilliant. Carlo Ancelotti is a born match winner. You know, he's so determined to win every match, and he's such a good manager. And obviously, Bilic for us is a fantastic manager as well. And I will always have faith in him and the players on the pitch. But like I say, we need a striker. Here is my score prediction is going to be 1-1. I'm going to go with a Conor Gallagher goal on his debut, and I'm going to go with a Richarlison goal. Now, I have got a little bit of a preview coming up now. Everton fan giving his thoughts before the game from the call of Everton. So I hope you enjoyed my part of the video. Now it's time to listen to an opposition's opinion on the game, and make sure you go over to them and check them out, and we'll see you in the next video.
Everton West Brom then. On paper, it looks like a pretty comfortable victory for Everton, although this is Everton we're talking about, so no result would surprise me. I think after that first victory away at Tottenham on the opening weekend, there's a real feel-good factor about the club at the moment. There's lots of new signings in. We've got the opportunity to go top of the league if we win this game on Saturday. And we know we're facing a West Brom team who have just come up, got a pretty bad defeat on the opening weekend of the season. So we will go into this game with a lot of confidence. I've been really impressed with our new signings so far. So my prediction, I'm going to be very optimistic, and I'm going to go for Everton to win 3-0. I think it was a little bit worrying watching that West Brom performance at the weekend, given that I've already predicted that they're going to go straight back down. Sorry, I know I shouldn't say that. But yeah, they didn't inspire too much confidence in me when I watched them against Leicester. I think we're looking very good in terms of an Everton perspective. James Rodriguez looked very, very sharp on Sunday, and I think only better things are going to come from him. The other new signings, Allen and Decore, settled in absolutely perfectly. We've got Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin looking like a really good partnership as well. So yeah, I'm pretty optimistic going into the game. I think West Brom will try and frustrate us, but I think we've got too much quality, and I think our confidence is high. And as long as we don't bottle it, because we've got a real reputation for... we had a game last season against Villa that if we won, we would have gone top early doors, and we lost 1-0. And whenever there's any pressure on Everton, we usually crumble. So as long as we don't bottle it and get too hyped up in our heads, I'm going to be optimistic and go for Everton 3.